Hi, welcome, and I hope you're doing well. Here I have a MacBook Pro 13-inch. The model here is the A1502, and this is a Mid 2014. So I'll be doing a keyboard replacement with the battery, and I just wanted to say that I'll be replacing the entire palm rest, keyboard, touchpad, and the battery. They are all together in one big piece together. So before you actually, close the video or, try to watch a different channels, I just wanted to let you know it is very difficult to remove the battery on its own on the original and get a replacement with that. I recommend to just buy the entire thing like this and then replace them. Is a lot easier, especially if the battery that you have is bad and is swollen, and if your battery is about to explode and you try to dig it out and remove the adhesive battery on the bottom, it is very difficult. So don't do that. But for my case, I am doing the entire keyboard and the battery replacement all together. So alright, so let's get started. Before you go ahead and get ready your tools and watch the video entirely, follow step by steps, I actually would like you to click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and click that notification bell, because it really is going to help me to grow the channel and keeps me motivated. Alright, so I'm using a pentalobe screwdriver here, and this pentalobe screwdriver is to open up the back plate. And let's go ahead and keep opening up all the screws. I will have the tools in the description below. You can click on the link. It will direct you to either Amazon or eBay to buy those parts or the tools for you to to do this repair yourself. Now, as you can see, the computer is very dusty and dirty. So when you take it apart, this is the chance where you can actually clean out the dust and give a breathing room for your new computer here. Not a new computer, but your old computer. Alright, so first thing first, as you can see, my battery here is swollen, a little bit lumped, bump, whatever you want to call that. But yeah, I'll be replacing this because the battery is also pushing my touchpad, so I can the touchpad is not clicking very well. So that must be one of the reason why in your case that the battery is swollen. Alright, so the first thing I do is to disconnect the battery. This is where the battery connector is. It is actually connected to the motherboard. I'm using my fingernail and I'm lifting it up. Alright, that's how you remove or disconnect the battery. So in this video here, what we're gonna do is we're transferring the LCD, the entire LCD altogether, and the motherboard over to that replacement battery that I showed you earlier in the video. Okay, so what I did was I just removed the two plastic cover here, and I tried to rush finish this process as fast as possible, so that because this installing process and this connecting process is long. Alright, so as you can see, I'm making a line here on my Wi-Fi. I make a two dots here on the very far left. I leave the middle empty, and then I leave the two dots here on the very far right. To disconnect the Wi-Fi, I'm just pulling the Wi-Fi up, lifting it up, and that's how I disconnect that. So my goal right now is to disconnect the LCD screen, and this cable right here is, be very careful, this is your camera for your webcam. I'm going to slide it away from my body, meaning that I'm going to go that side. Okay, slide it to that side and go ahead and slightly peel it off. That's how you get it. Alright, so the next step I need to do is to get a Torx 8 screwdriver, and this Torx 8 is to remove the hinge, and there's the screw for that. There's 6 of them, 3 on the left, 3 on the right. Alright, so there you go. So the next step I need to do is to get a T4. There's this tiny little screw here, and this screw is holding onto this little thing that clip onto the screen. So remove that as well. So technically in about 5 minutes you can get your screen replaced very quickly. So that is how you do a screen replacement if you have a bad screen. Now what I'm doing is I'm lifting it up at right about 90-degree angle, push it a little bit more. Okay, so now I can slide up the LCD just like that. Alright, so there you go for the screen replacement if you have a broken screen. It's very simple and easy. But for us, we are not going to do the screen replacement, and we are trying to transfer the motherboard over to that new keyboard and the battery. Alright, so the next step I need to do is to go ahead and disconnect this and remove the 2 screws, and go ahead and remove the bracket, disconnect this, same thing comes back here, remove the 2 screws, remove the bracket, lift the cable up. They are just like Lego, it's a snap-on thing. Just lift it up, and that's how you have it. Alright, and the next step is I'll be replacing this, removing the speaker. So this one is your speaker connector. I just lift it up. That's how you disconnect that cable. Come in over here. Alright, so this is your speaker. So if you want to do a speaker replacement, there you have it. It's just as simple as that. Okay, so let me go ahead and transfer it over here. I just like to work and not to mix things up. So it's easier when you work and transfer stuff at the same time. So you have the screws in the right position, and you're not going to come back and say, oh, what screw goes where. So that is the whole reason I'm going to do that, is to transfer as I go along. Alright, 3 screws, hold on to that, and then there goes my cable ready to go, the speaker. Now the next part is we actually need to, let's see what is the best part to do it here. Let's remove this one. So disconnect this cable, and this cable here you need to slide it to your left. Okay, so one thing I'm pulling, the same time I'm using a plastic prying tool and pushing out that little cable right there. So push to my left, pull to my left. That's how I disconnect that. There's a little clipper right here. You got to lift this clipper up. This clipper here, when you lift it up right about 90-degree angle, and then now you can slide that CPU fan cable away from your body. So slide it away from your body. That's how you disconnect that CPU fan. Go ahead and remove the CPU fan, the 3 screws that's holding at it. All the screws are not in the same size, so be very careful. Do not mix match that screw. Let me see. So the very top left here, this is actually a Phillips screwdriver, and this Phillips screwdriver is holding onto your heatsink, and the heatsink is covering up that CPU fan. So I'm lifting it up at a certain angle. At the same time, I'm trying to slide it out if can. Looks like it cannot. Never mind. Sorry, I'll take that back. We just have to remove the entire motherboard. Alright, let's get back to it. So go ahead and lift this cable up. There's a cable right here. Lift it up. This is your DC jack connector. It goes to the right, so just pull to your right side. That's how you remove it. Let's go ahead and transfer the DC jack. Okay, 2 screws that's holding onto it. Okay, now go ahead and remove this one screw right here. That is your motherboard. Again, this is your speaker. I'm just going to lift up that connector right here. Okay, remove that one screw, second screw, and this is the third one. Okay, let's transfer the right speaker to my new case right here. So go ahead and slide it in. It looks like I missed out one of the screw. Where did the one screw go? I need to find that one screw. Where did it go? Let me see. Did I drop it somewhere? Alright, I seem not to be able to find that one screw, so if I happen to see it, I'll put it on that speaker. Oh well, let's just move on. So there are 3 screws. Just remember there are 3 screws that hold on to that speaker. So I'm missing one screw. I guess that should be okay. Let's see. So I have removed one of the screw here on the motherboard. Remove that speaker, right? And then there's this little tiny cable right here. Please do not forget to remove that little, not remove it, like peel that little plastic. Okay, to expose that clipper. And lift the clipper up. So I'm using my fingernail and lift it up, and then I'll slide that cable down towards my body. Okay, do not forget this cable right here. This is actually your keyboard cable. So expose that tape, flip the clipper up, and slide down that keyboard connector. Same thing for a touchpad. Expose the cable, lift that clipper up, and slide the cable towards your body. And now you're going to remove the motherboard. So get one screws up and remove that screw. Here again, the second screw on the top, that screw on the top left, and then come down bottom here. It's another screw. So 2, 4, 5 screws total that holds onto the motherboard. Now I'm trying to lift the motherboard up. Okay, so there goes my CPU fan, and this one right here is ready to slide to my left. That's how I remove the entire motherboard. Now let me go ahead and slightly leave it here for now, because I only have so much room in my camera to show you the angle. So I'm trying to put the stuff here. Let me see if I can transfer everything over from this first to the board. Okay, So let me see what torque this one is. This should be a torque 8, I think. Okay, T8 right here. There's one screw right bottom here, which is the T4. 2 screws. Lift it up. Let's transfer it over to the new stuff. And this is the old computer bed battery, right? So let's move this on the side. Get my T8. And there's one screw at the bottom here, which is the Torx 4. Alright, now what we're going to do is align the CPU fan. Let's go ahead and make sure it aligns properly, sits ready in the right position right here. Now at the same time, we try to slide in the motherboard, right? So you should clean that dust on your motherboard out, but you know, I'm skipping that process, which is not good. But yeah, for your purpose, your computer, please go ahead and clean all the dust. So right now, as you can see, I'm actually pushing all the cable. Make sure all the cables are above the motherboard, because you do not want it to be underneath the motherboard, and that's how you're not going to get the connection installed, right? So make sure they're all lift up above the motherboard. So I have the touchpad, the keyboard right here, okay, and the speaker and this little tiny stuff. I'm trying to slide it into my right first. You need to install on the right side. To get the USB and the auxiliary jack in the right position. So slide it in first. Make sure the cable is still on the top. My keyboard right here, come up. Come on, come up. And my touchpad, come up. Okay, so make sure the top right cable is up as well. Now I slightly slide the fan back in. Make sure the fan cable is up as well. So let's go in. Okay, perfect. So make sure I recap everything and you get everything in the right position. So the motherboard is sitting in the right position, right? It's pushing all the way to your right. Make sure the auxiliary and the USB are in place. The CPU fan is up. The speaker is up. This thing is on the top. We're waiting for the cable. This is a touchpad, the keyboard, the battery, the speaker, and there's one little tiny cable right here. DC jack power, LCD screen, and this cable right here on the top. So pretty much we have everything in the right position. So let's go ahead and screw the motherboard down. We need to secure the motherboard, so put the first screw right here. Comes the second screw. And comes the third one on the top. You see that I'm not putting the screw all the way in because we might have to move the motherboard, align it in the right position. Sometimes nothing is perfect, so you just need to put the screws on it but not tighten the screw yet. Okay, so which is great. Let me go ahead and slide this cable back in. I need to install this CPU fan. Once you push it in, go ahead and get the clipper, clip it back down. There you have it. Okay, and put the 3 screws back onto the fan. Okay, so let me go ahead and connect this cable first. Push it all the way to my right. This is my speaker cable. Go ahead and clip it down. Great. Now I'm pretty much ready to tighten all the screws. I just want to make sure that everything is aligned in the right position first. Starting from the heatsink on the top left, looks like it's in. Now let me go ahead and tighten everything up. So that would be my fan goes in, motherboard goes in, okay, let me go ahead and connect this cable back on in the right place. Go ahead and connect the DC jack, push it to my left. There's 1 screw right here, lock it in. Now I need to push the touchpad. Let's go ahead and get the touchpad in it. It's all the way in, lock it down. Keyboard is my next. It down, and before my speaker, I gotta make sure this tiny little cable is in. Okay, once it's in, lock it down, and my speaker goes in. Alright, so do not forget this flex cable right here. Put it in first. They're just like Lego. Once you have them in the right position, you can just push it down and they'll lock it in. Go ahead and make sure you put the 2 screws onto the bracket. So let's put it back in. Alright, so the next step I'll be doing is to install the LCD screen. The LCD screen, go ahead and align the connector here first. Right, the hinge, slide it back in. Slide it back in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put 1 screw on the hinge so that I can close the screen and work on it. So right now it just opens still. So go ahead and put the 1 screws on. I'll come back here and work on that screw on the other side. Okay, once I have it in, I can close the screen now. So let me go ahead and slide this LCD connector back in. Let's go ahead and slide it in and lock it down. Finish up the screws on the hinge. Remember, you do have this little thing here, so go back in, get the screw. Alright, we're almost there. Okay, so this cable right here, slide it down to my body. That's how I install it. And the Wi-Fi, so 1 dot goes to the far left. They're just like Lego, so make sure you have them in the right position and then kind of slightly gently press it and you feel like the click, it goes on. It doesn't take a lot of strength, so don't force it in and bend the pin. If you bend the pin, you have to change the entire screen, just so you know. Okay, and this is the little rubber, slide it in on both sides, snap. Slide it in on the top, slide it in at the bottom, it goes in and snap. It's not going to go in perfectly. Oh, sorry, the other way around. It's not going to go in that perfect because yeah, you never get it perfect once you remove things apart. So, but at least it gives you an idea, in general idea, how to put it back in. Now we have everything in, right? Do not forget this little rubber that covers on the top left, top right. And finally, I install the battery, so push it in. Good, everything is secure. Good to go. So let me install the back plate. So far, if you have any question, please comment below. Okay, I actually read your comments and I actually make videos apply to the comments, and if you need help, I'll definitely make the video and show you how to do what to do, you know, for your repair. So again, as a small favor return, I'd like to ask you if you can hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. At least that helps the the YouTube algorithm to suggest my video for the next viewer. So this is it. I'm not trying to bore you with putting the screw back in. You know what to do. So if you enjoyed the video, like the button, and until next time, please take care.